Stoicism and its philosophical counterparts, Buddhism and other paths of life. Introduction. Humanity has long sought guidance on living well. Two of the most enduring traditions to offer answers are Western Stoicism and Eastern Buddhism. Alongside these, numerous philosophies and spiritual practices from around the world, such as Taoism, Christian ethics, existentialism, and mindfulness, have influenced how people live. While all these traditions aim toward peace, virtue, or liberation, Stoicism stands apart in its focus on rational control over one's inner world and public engagement in everyday life. This essay provides a detailed examination. How is Stoicism different from Buddhism? How does it compare with Taoism, Christian moral philosophy, mindfulness, existentialist thought, and modern self-help? What unique insights does Stoicism offer? The distinctions and overlaps reveal a rich landscape of philosophies with shared goals, but different methods. Foundations of Stoicism. Stoicism originated in ancient Greece and early Rome. Its founders, Zeno of Citium, Cleanthes, and Chrysippus, developed a philosophy rooted in virtue, reason, and living according to nature. Stoicism teaches that true flourishing does not depend on external circumstances, but arises from developing practical wisdom, moral characters, and emotional resilience. One of its celebrated insights is the division between what lies within our control, our judgments, values, and actions, and what does not, things like illness, other people's behavior, and passing events. Practicing Stoic virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance allows one to respond well to life's challenges. Stoics valued engagement with society, pragmatism, and logical reflection. Writing exercises, voluntary discomfort, and mental rehearsal were tools to cultivate stability and freedom from destructive emotions. Stoicism emphasizes purposeful action in public life while maintaining inner tranquility. Foundations of Buddhism. Buddhism, especially in its classical forms, arose nearly a millennium earlier in India with Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha. It centers on discovering tools to end suffering and thereby achieve liberation. Suffering is understood as arising from craving, attachment, and ignorance. Buddhism encourages liberation by cultivating ethical conduct, mental concentration, and insight into the nature of reality. Like Stoics, Buddhists practice mindfulness and rational self-awareness. Both schools recommend examining thoughts to reduce reactive suffering. But Buddhism emphasizes concepts such as universal compassion, the interdependence of all beings, impermanence, and non-self. The ultimate goal is to transcend personal suffering by awakening to the interwoven reality of experience. Enlightenment involves dissolving personal ego and craving. Ethical behavior toward all beings and meditative practices play a crucial role in Buddhist transformation. Key differences in worldview. At core, Stoicism and Buddhism diverge in how they view selfhood and the ultimate goal of practice. Stoicism values a stable personal identity rooted in rational virtue. Being a good person with reasoned choices and moral courage is at the heart of Stoic flourishing. Buddhism, particularly certain schools, challenges the very notion of a persistent self. If suffering arises from clinging to self and desires, then enlightenment lies in seeing that all phenomena, even the self, are impermanent and empty. The path's aim is often described as liberation from cycles of rebirth. Buddhism speaks of awakening beyond personality. In contrast, Stoicism encourages cultivating the rational self and maintaining integrity in everyday life. Desire and detachment. Both philosophies caution against excessive desire. Stoicism advises tranquility by accepting what lies outside control. Buddhism highlights attachment and craving as the root of suffering. However, Stoic detachment primarily serves daily resilience, not ultimate liberation. Stoics remain rooted in human roles, family, civic life, leadership, while cultivating calm. Buddhism's non-attachment extends to relinquishing desires and ego identifications altogether. Both see freedom through restraint, but one remains engaged and the other often withdraws. Emotions and suffering. Stoicism reframes destructive emotions, anger, fear, grief, as misjudgments. The practice is to intervene at the level of thought before emotions spiral. Buddhism accepts the raw experience of emotion but trains compassionate awareness and non-reactivity. In Buddhism, one observes feelings impartially, noting body sensations, feelings, and mental states to gain insight into impermanence. Stoicism promotes rational evaluation to prevent emotional turbulence. Both aim for equanimity but use different methods, rational cognitive correction versus mindful observation. Practice in daily life, Stoicism employs written exercises like morning reflection and evening journaling to maintain focus on rational living. Its premeditation of adversity promotes mental rehearsal of challenges. Voluntary discomfort, cold exposure, fasting builds toughness. Stoics remain actively involved in their communities. Buddhism offers the Eightfold Path: right view, intention, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, concentration. Monastic communities exist alongside lay practice. Meditation is central, mindfulness, loving kindness, insight. The goal is personal transformation toward enlightenment. Both traditions include reflection, but one emphasizes reasoning in public action. The other emphasizes inner transformation through meditation. Comparisons with other philosophies, Taoism emphasizes harmony with natural flow and Wu Wei, non-striving action. Stoicism sees living in accordance with nature as living rationally. Taoist indifference to goals contrasts with Stoic striving for virtue. Christian moral philosophy shares Stoic values of virtue, integrity, and ethical action. Autonomy and self-discipline are shared, but Christian ethics derive moral guidance from divine command rather than human reason. Existentialism echoes Stoicism's focus on personal responsibility and authenticity, but embraces absurdity and emotional depth in ways Stoicism may sidestep. Modern mindfulness-based approaches draw from Buddhist insight practices but often skip ethics. Stoicism encourages ethical reflection alongside emotional awareness. Common ground and shared methods. Across philosophies, a few universal themes emerge: self-reflection, non-reactivity, acceptance of limitation, daily practice, and caring for others. These shared threads speak to a fundamental human need to live wisely. Stoicism particularly emphasizes clarity on control and cultivating courage and rational action, offering a uniquely human-centered approach to living both inwardly and outwardly fulfilled. Conclusion. Stoicism stands as a bridge between ancient spiritual insight and modern practical application. Its emphasis on rational virtue, public engagement, and emotional self-mastery marks a path distinct from Buddhism's focus on awakening and non-self, Christian divine purpose, Taoist spiritual harmony, or existentialist realism. Yet all these philosophies offer living frameworks to face suffering, choice, and purpose. Choosing among them depends on temperament, goals, and worldview, but familiarity across traditions can enrich any path. Ultimately, Stoicism's legacy remains as a guide to living well in an ever-changing world, with inner resilience, reasoned purpose, and moral clarity.